Today's lesson is about the product rule and quotient rule in derivative, of course. So, what is the derivative of f plus g? So it is proven that it becomes f prime plus g prime. So it tells us that if we want to differentiate an expression, so we can differentiate one by one. For example, if we have y equals ln x plus x squared plus 1 over x. So when you differentiate one by one. So it means prime applies to each one separately. Therefore, y prime becomes 1 over x plus 2x minus 1 over x squared. So the second law describes that if you want to differentiate CF, it means a number times a function. C goes out easily. And all you need to do is taking the derivative of f. For example, if you are going to differentiate 3e to the power of x, we have nothing to do with 3. 3 just stays, and derivative of ex is ex. So now we'll talk about the product rule. How are we going to differentiate f times g? So it's not simply f prime times g prime. It's a complicated one. So it's f prime g plus g prime f. So it means you differentiate the first function, and which one is the first function is completely up to you. So you differentiate the first function and then you multiply it by the second function itself, plus then you differentiate the second function times the first function itself. Like if your function is x sine x, so we can consider x as the first function and sine x as the second function. So we differentiate the first function, which is 1 times sine x, plus the derivative of the second function is cos x times x sine x plus x cos x. This is the derivative. And the last law that I'm sharing with you is the quotient rule. So how do I differentiate a fraction f over g? So this is the instruction that we need to follow. F prime g minus g prime f over g squared. Let's have an example. If y equals tan x over square root of x. So tan x can be considered as f and square root of x as g. Therefore, y prime becomes derivative of tan is secant squared x times square root of x itself, and minus derivative of the denominator, which is 1 over 2 root x times tan x over denominator squared.